This is going to blow your mind. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you never miss a mystery. Brill stuk fail HW Tower lawyers Lissel Kem Kal did. Today we're diving into one of humanity's oldest riddles. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? This question isn't just about farm animals, it's a metaphor for circular cause and effect, a puzzle that's fascinated thinkers for centuries. Picture a farmer, eggs in hand, chickens at his feet, pondering how this cycle began. The answer takes us deep into biology, evolution, and the story of life itself. We'll travel from ancient philosophy to modern genetics, and back to the dawn of life. Along the way, we'll see how a simple question can unlock the mysteries of our world. Ready to unravel this age-old puzzle? Let's begin our journey. The chicken and egg paradox is a classic causal loop. Chickens lay eggs, eggs hatch chickens, and the cycle repeats endlessly. This riddle has fascinated people for centuries, sparking debates in philosophy, science, and even everyday conversation. It's a question that seems simple on the surface, but quickly reveals layers of complexity the more you think about it. The cycle is so seamless that it's hard to pinpoint where it truly begins or ends. If the chicken came first, what did it hatch from? Was there a moment in time when the very first chicken appeared, breaking the cycle? Or did something else come before it, setting the stage for the chicken's arrival? If the egg came first, who laid it? Was it a chicken, or perhaps a bird that was almost, but not quite, a chicken? This question pushes us to consider the gradual changes that happen over generations. This circular logic is what makes the question so enduring. It's a puzzle that resists easy answers, looping back on itself no matter where you start. It's more than a riddle. It's a challenge to trace origins in a world full of cycles. The chicken and egg are just one example of the many repeating patterns we see in nature and life. The real puzzle is about definitions. What exactly do we mean by a chicken egg? Is it an egg laid by a chicken, or is it any egg that contains a chicken, regardless of who laid it? The answer can change depending on how we frame the question. The answer depends on how we define our terms. Philosophers, scientists, and even everyday people have all offered different perspectives, each shaped by their own understanding of what comes first. This simple question forces us to think deeply about beginnings, identity, and change. It invites us to reflect on how things evolve, and how new things emerge from what came before. It's a doorway to understanding how new things come into being. The chicken and egg riddle is more than just a puzzle. It's a metaphor for the mysteries of creation and transformation. Let's see how history and science have tried to solve it. Over the years, thinkers from many fields have explored this question, each bringing new insights and evidence to the table. The solution lies in the details. By looking closely at the evidence and by questioning our assumptions, we can get closer to understanding the true heart of the riddle. Ancient philosophers loved this question. Aristotle believed both chicken and egg had always existed, part of an eternal cycle with no beginning. For him, the universe and the chicken and egg cycle was infinite. Later thinkers like Plutarch used the riddle to debate whether the universe had a starting point. In religious traditions, the answer was simple. A creator made the chicken first, which then laid eggs. For centuries, the question was less about biology and more about the nature of existence. It was a symbol for the mysteries of beginnings and the cosmos itself, but science would eventually offer a new perspective. To answer the riddle, we must first appreciate the egg. The amniotic egg, developed over 300 million years ago, was a game changer. Early amphibians needed water to lay their eggs, but the amniotic egg allowed life to move onto land. Its shell is a marvel, strong yet breathable, protecting the embryo inside. The egg's design predates chickens by millions of years. Reptiles, dinosaurs, and early birds all laid eggs. The first amniotic eggs were laid by ancient lizard-like creatures. Eggs, as a biological structure, are far older than chickens. Understanding this history is key. Eggs existed long before chickens ever did. The egg is a symbol of life's innovation. Now let's look at the chicken's story. The modern chicken, Gallus gallus domesticus, is a product of evolution and human selection. Its ancestor, the red jungle fowl, still lives in Southeast Asia. Humans began domesticating these birds around 8,000 years ago, selecting for traits like egg-laying and temperament. Over generations, selective breeding transformed wild jungle fowl into today's chickens. But chickens are just one branch of a vast evolutionary tree. Birds evolved from theropod dinosaurs who were already laying eggs. If life's history were a year, chickens would appear in the last minutes of December 31st. The chicken is a recent arrival, built on an ancient legacy. Its story is one of gradual change, not sudden appearance. Now let's see how evolution bridges the gap. Evolution is a slow, step-by-step process. It unfolds over timescales so vast they can be difficult to truly comprehend. While a human life might last decades, evolution works over thousands, even millions of years, shaping life in ways that are almost invisible in the moment. Species don't appear overnight. They change gradually through mutations passed down over generations. Each small difference, each tiny genetic shift, is like a single brushstroke in a painting that takes eons to complete. Over time, these changes add up, leading to the incredible diversity of life we see today. Imagine a population of proto-chickens, almost but not quite chickens. These birds looked and behaved much like modern chickens, but they weren't quite the same. They were the result of countless generations of gradual change, each one just a little different from the last. Each generation, tiny genetic changes accumulate. Some of these changes are so minor they go unnoticed. Others might affect the color of a feather, the shape of a beak, or the pattern on an egg. Over time, these small differences can become significant. One day, a mutation occurs in an egg laid by a proto-chicken. This mutation is a random change in the DNA, a tiny tweak in the genetic code that makes this egg just a little bit different from all the others. The chick that hatches carries a new trait, enough to be called the first true chicken. This single moment, almost imperceptible, marks the birth of a new species. It's a quiet revolution, hidden within the shell. The parent was a proto-chicken, the offspring a chicken. This subtle but crucial difference is what separates one species from another, even if the change is almost invisible to the naked eye. The cycle of egg and chicken was already in place, but the defining change happened inside the egg. It's here, in the hidden world of cells and genes, that evolution quietly works its magic. This is how new species emerge, not in leaps, but through countless small steps. Each step is a link in the unbroken chain of life, connecting the distant past to the present. The egg, containing the first true chicken, came before the chicken itself. In this way, the answer to the age-old question is found in the slow, patient work of evolution. Evolution's story is written in these subtle transitions. Every feather, every beak, every egg tells a part of that story, stretching back through deep time. Let's zoom in on that pivotal moment and witness the quiet miracle that changed the course of life forever. Imagine for a moment a world before chickens as we know them existed. Picture that crucial event. Somewhere in the distant past, a bird that was almost, but not quite a chicken, a proto-chicken, lays an egg. This egg, nestled quietly in its nest, looks just like any other, but it holds a secret that will change history. Inside, a tiny but significant mutation occurs in the embryo's DNA. This subtle change, invisible to the naked eye, is enough to create the very first true chicken. The egg itself appears ordinary, blending in with all the others, but within its shell something extraordinary is happening. Deep inside, a new genetic blueprint is forming, a unique combination of genes that has never existed before. This is the moment evolution takes a leap. When the chick finally hatches, it's not just any bird. It's the first animal we would recognize as a chicken, different from its parents in a subtle but crucial way. So, in this story, the egg truly came first, laid by a bird that was almost a chicken but not quite. The magic happened inside the egg, where the first true chicken was created, carrying a new set of instructions for life. The parent was a proto-chicken, but the offspring was something new. And this process isn't unique to chickens, it's a universal story in the animal kingdom. Every species, from birds to reptiles to mammals, has its own origin story that follows this same remarkable pattern. The birth of a new species always begins with a single extraordinary offspring, an individual that is just different enough to be called something new. Evolution is a gradual process, with tiny changes accumulating over countless generations. But if we're forced to draw a line between one species and the next, that line is clearest at the moment of birth or hatching, when a new life emerges carrying a new identity. The defining trait, the thing that makes a species unique, appears in the offspring, not the parent. It's a quiet revolution, happening in the safety of an egg. The egg is the vessel of transformation, the cradle where nature's experiments play out and new possibilities are born. It's here, in the quiet darkness of the shell, that evolution solves its greatest riddles and creates the future. This is how evolution answers the age-old question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? The answer, as we've seen, is in the egg, the birthplace of every new beginning. Science gives us a clear answer. The egg came first. The first true chicken hatched from an egg laid by a near-chicken ancestor. The genetic leap happened inside the egg, not in the adult bird. This logic holds for all species. The new begins in the next generation. Eggs, as a concept, are hundreds of millions of years older than chickens. The chicken is just the latest to use this ancient reproductive strategy. The riddle, once a paradox, is now a story of gradual change and deep time. The answer doesn't diminish the wonder, it deepens it. The egg is both the beginning and the bridge to the future. The cycle continues, as it always has. The egg, containing the first true chicken, came before the chicken. This riddle reveals the beauty of evolution, a process of endless transformation. Every living thing is a link in the chain, shaped by the past and shaping the future. The chicken and egg story is a small part of life's grand narrative. Next time you see a chicken or an egg, remember the ancient journey behind it. Thank you for joining this exploration of one of nature's most famous puzzles. Curiosity leads us to remarkable discoveries. The journey of understanding never ends.